on, family? How's everybody today? Um, as usual, I always thank you when you can join me in these discussions. Family, as I see today, and I'm pretty sure most of you seen it, that people have been lulled back to sleep, especially among our people. We see these businesses opening back up, these sports arenas opening back up, people freely walking around without any mask on, and it's giving people a false sense of things returning back to normal, and it's not. There are far worse things to come. This is just a period where there's a small break in the action. And like when the scriptures say, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes. And we have a lot more things coming our way that's not going to be very nice. So don't be fooled by it seemingly being returned back to normal. Of course, our normal has never stopped since this whole pandemic started. Our normal has continued right on through it. Our normal was being shot down unarmed, having unfair and unequal employment and education. Our normal has never stopped. People still calling the police on us for doing normal stuff, okay? Like going to the park and barbecuing and going to the mall to sit down and eat like this brother last week did. He sit down to eat with his young child and was asked to leave because some Gentile children was crying because they were afraid of him as a black man. And the police escorted him out of the mall just because some children were crying. See, our normal ain't never stopped, even through this pestilence, if you want to call it that. So things didn't stop being our normal at all. But what the world, I guess, sees as normal is your ability to get out and get out the house and congregate together and go to all these different sports arenas, and everybody, for the most part, except those who are awakened, have been lulled back to sleep. Okay? And that is very dangerous. Just a few months back, when Texas experienced one of the coldest winters they've ever experienced. All the power, most of the power grids shut down. People went without power for up to 3 weeks or more, and it caught them off guard. But with that being said, since that's in the past, people have no thought of it anymore. It's the furthest thing from their memory. And it's going to happen again. These people think that the cold winter is the only thing that can disrupt our electrical service. So therefore, they're thinking that may not never happen again. they still have refused to take precautions and will get caught in the same predicament the next time the power goes out. They seem to think that cold weather is the only thing that can do that. But what about tornadoes? You know, they take down electrical grids too and power. You know, what about extreme flooding? It can do it. What about rolling blackouts? Huh? Or what, for some reason, the electrical system, as they say, is hacked and you without power. But see, no, you didn't prepare. That winter blackout was not enough for you. So it's the furthest thing from your mind. You still haven't prepared, saved you, stored you no food, no water, spend money on alternative power like a generator or something. No, you're not going to do that. You know, as a people, I'm speaking about us, we just have too short of a memory. You know, a short attention span. And this is why we get in trouble over and over and over again. Just like our forefathers. They had a short memory. This is why they ended up in captivity after captivity. They get out of one and their attention span is so short and their memory is so short, they'll do something else. And the Most High put them right back in another one. See? And we're the same way today. No matter what happens to us, you know, we forget about it. You know. Take, for instance, this Juneteenth law that they passed, what made it a federal holiday. That was nothing specific for us. They're not going to pass anything that's specific to only us. What they did, it benefited everybody. Because if it's made a federal holiday, a paid holiday, or whatever, everybody's going to get paid on that holiday. It's a federal holiday for all of them. They didn't just pass the Juneteenth law and say, okay, this is for black people only. Okay? No, it's for everybody. So everybody benefits off of it. We didn't really need that Juneteenth law made, because we were celebrating it anyway, you know, on our own terms. We didn't need no law for that. So when the law was passed, you rest assured it's going to be passed for everybody to benefit. We are not going to ever get anything passed specifically for us. Anything they pass is going to benefit everybody. You got to remember that. You know, I care nothing about that Juneteenth law, because people been celebrating it all this time. You know, nobody else cares about Juneteenth but us. So why should they benefit from it? You know, they get a day off too, paid, you know. But we jump up and down and think they finally did something for us. No, they did not. That is for everybody. You have to wake up and see this stuff. All right? You know, we got such a short memory span. And it only just keeps leading to our misery time and time again, because we just can't remember the things that has already happened to us and continuing to happen. But some kind of way we think eventually we're going to be seen as equal and treated fairly and just, and not. That's not going to ever happen. And reparations, you can forget it. They're not going to do that. Okay? The only reparations you're going to get is when the Most High give them to us. The only justice and fairness that you're going to get is when Mashiach comes back and establishes justice in the earth and take down all these nations and kingdoms. That's when you get it, not before. Let's just read an example of just how fast we forget things. And I'm going to read Jeremiah chapter 3. And I think started verse 6 through 11. Now this is talking about backsliding Israel. Verse 6. The Most High had said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel has done? She is gone up on every high mountain and under every green tree, and there hath played the harlot. And I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me. But she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away, and had given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. And yet, for all this, her treacherous sister Judah has not turned unto me with her whole heart, but feigned, saith the Most High. And the Most High said unto me, the backsliding Israel has justified herself more than treacherous Judah. And that's us, family. Judah. We saw what happened to Israel, the other tribes, and went and done the same thing anyway, even though we saw it. See, that's having a real short memory and being stiff-necked, which Judah is known for. You would think Judah would be one of the most obedient tribes it is, because this is where Mashiach come through, the tribe of Judah. But we're not. We're probably the worst for his obedience. Okay? And another place where that happened at was in Nehemiah. What's that? Nehemiah, I think Nehemiah chapter 13. Let me find it right quick. I believe that's what it is. Give me just a minute. Just a minute. Anyway, I know it's the 13th chapter of Nehemiah. I really want to read this one. Show you just how forgetful and we're forgetful and disobedient. No matter what happens, we just can't seem to remember the things that has already happened to us, and we just keep repeating them over and over again. And we keep getting in the same predicament over and over again too. That would be Nehemiah 13, verse 15 through 18. That's what it is. Just a minute. I know that's what it is. Just pardon me a little bit, because this wind is blowing and it's hard to mark these pages. Okay. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 15 through 18. We're going to see just how quickly we forget things. Verse 15. In those days I saw in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and lading asses, also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burden, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, What evil thing is this that you do, and profane the Sabbath day? Verse 18. Did not your fathers do thus? And did not our Elohim bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet you bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. See, they had already been punished before by the Most High for disobeying, profaning the Sabbath. And Nehemiah just told them, didn't your fathers do this? Didn't y'all just get out of trouble for this? Profaning the Sabbath? You know, when they were sent into Babylon, it was about profaning the Sabbath too. It was the sabbatical year where they wouldn't get a land arrest. See? But they forget all about that. And that's the way our people are today. We forget all about things that the Most High has warned us against and punished us for, and just continue to do it. We have some of the worst memories of anybody. You know, we are celebrating everybody's holidays and things except the ones that we're supposed to celebrate. You can go out in the street and every black person you pass by, ask them what days they celebrate, and they'll rattle them off. Oh, I celebrate Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving and, you know, everything, you know, all those pagan holidays. Not one of them will ever say anything about the 7 feast days of the Most High. And we can even find that within our own families. Don't even have to go out into the street. We celebrate everybody's holiday or whatever they holidays they want to call them. I mean, we got sisters and brothers out here even celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Has nothing at all to do with you. In fact, what is St. Patrick's Day? St. Patrick's Day was made an official Christian feast day in the early 17th century and is observed by the Catholic Church, the Anglican community, especially the Church of Ireland, the Eastern Orthodox Church, and the Lutheran Church. You know, they celebrating St. Patrick, you know. And I see black people get on their little green and stuff and walk around, I guess, trying to act like they're a leprechaun or something. But you can't get them to celebrate none of the days what the Most High has given us. Okay? They'll celebrate Easter. And right off the bat, it's an abomination. You know, you got a rabbit that can lay eggs, which is an abomination against the Most High's nature of creation. Rabbits can't lay an egg, you know. And matter of fact, you know, the Levitical law speaks against rabbits. We're not even supposed to eat them. And that would be found, what, in Leviticus chapter 11, verse 5 and 6. You know, the coney, that's a form of a rabbit, or the hare. But yet, we celebrate with rabbits, and one that can lay eggs, which is an abomination. But can we celebrate the Most High's days, what He gave us? Absolutely not. We celebrate Christmas, you know, and it wasn't never meant to be celebrated. The only time that anybody celebrated Christmas was back in Matthew, where they wasn't celebrating Christmas. They just celebrated the birth, where they wasn't even a celebration. Let me take that back. They went and worshiped Mashiach when He was born, because He was the one who would save us, you know, from sin. And so Herod sent these 3 men, wise men as they call them, to search Him out, which he had bad intentions when he did that. But let's see what happens here. Let's just go to Matthew chapter 2, verse 8 through 11. And He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also." He's lying. He wanting to kill him. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were coming to the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped Him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto Him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. Now they went to worship Him. They didn't make it no holiday. This wasn't going to be repeated year after year on December 25th. In fact, all the way through the Gospels, nobody's even mentioning the day that Mashiach was born. His disciples were with Him the whole time. I never read where they, on December 25th, you know, they said happy birthday, brought Him gifts and stuff. This Christmas has nothing to do with Mashiach. All it is a commercial day where people spend insane amount of money buying gifts for other people. And I'm wondering, well, wait a minute, we can understand those wise men bringing gifts fit for the coming king, because he's coming to do something. But why are we spending all this money on other people and each other? We wasn't born into this world to save nothing. See? So why are we getting gifts? You know, people get cars for Christmas and all kind of expensive stuff. People get in debt around Christmas season. It takes them to next Christmas season to finally get out of that debt. And they do it all over again. See? It's commercialized. It has nothing to do with honoring the fact that Mashiach was born into this world to save us from our sins, to offer us eternal life. But that's not what's going on with this Christmas stuff now. You know, celebrate Thanksgiving, where a lot of indigenous people were murdered. But we'll sit down at the table and celebrate that. It's just insane. I don't know why we do that. But you can walk up to anybody and ask them, do they celebrate Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Pentecost, blowing of the trumpets, Day of Atonement, Feast of Tabernacles? They ask them about them. And they're probably not going to know what you're talking about. But we can celebrate all these pagan holidays of this world. See, we got a short memory of the things that we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be different, set apart. We don't live like the world lives. 2 Corinthians 6:17, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Most High, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. Jeremiah 10, verse 2 says, thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. See, we're not supposed to pattern ourselves after these people, after this world, at all. We ought to be separate. I mean, most people are chomping at the bit right now, waiting on the 4th of July. What has that to do with us? That was the 13 colonies getting their independence from Britain. Had nothing to do with us. We were still in slavery. So what are we out buying firecrackers and shooting guns and all that stuff for? That's not our holiday. That wasn't for us. Go back and read where we were in 1776. We were still in slavery. But we'll get right out there with them and celebrate it like an idiot. It's just like anything else, especially when it comes to voting for these politicians. We always vote against our best interests. Everybody ran to the polls and voted for Joe Biden, our people, in which he had previously told them he's not going to do anything for you, but yet they still did it. Now they got buyer's remorse. See? We just don't learn. We just don't learn. There is no man alive that can do anything for you to bring you fairness and justice. It's not in them to do so. Okay? Most High told us that, in Deuteronomy 28, that no man shall be able to buy you. In other words, no man is going to get you out from under what I sent you into. So if you're looking for some savior out of man to make things right for you, you'll be waiting a long time. Only Mashiach is going to do that. Sooner you can get that in your spirit and understand that, the better off you'll be. You know. But as long as you think that, then somebody's going to eventually save you, then you're just going to be in a life of total disappointment at all times. Okay? We just, we need to get out from under this. You know, people celebrating Halloween. Don't you know the Most High did one of the most destructive things, judgments, on that day? I mean, you need to research it. You know, check what happened to Portugal, you know, on All Hallows Eve. The Most High sent an earthquake, a tsunami, and a fire that totally destroyed the city, all in the same day. See, you want to ask what the Most High's judgment looks like. That's what it looks like. See, it's total. Imagine that. Back to back in one day. Even the people there said it had to be a judgment from the Most High because they were killing our people. You know, saying they were heretics and witches because they would not subscribe to the, I guess you would say, Roman Catholic belief system. Because they would not change, they kept worshiping the Most High the way we should, and was killed for it. And on that day, All Hallows Eve, right following Halloween, the very next day, Most High sent destruction there. You need to read about that, family. Quit worshiping these holidays, because it's not beyond the Most High to start doing it again. If you keep worshiping these pagan holidays like he told us not to, we shouldn't do it. So I just don't want us, family, to get rocked back to sleep. It's not any better. It's just the plans have already been made and they're going to be implemented one at a time, back to back. You know, and you having this false sense of security, thinking things were going back to normal. And like I said up front, our normal ain't never stopped. What we experienced as normal, it never stopped. But the world thinks it's going back to normal. And that's freedom of movement and all this. It's not going to go back to that. This is just temporary. And very shortly, you'll find that out. Within the next coming months, you'll find out that this was a false peace. It was a false normalhood that lulled everybody right back to sleep. Nobody's prepared for anything. They think this is the end of our trouble or tribulation, and it's not. It's only the beginning. Like Mashiach said, you know, these are just the birth pains. This is just the beginning of what's going to happen. You know. So that's all I wanted to say today, family. You know, let's not go back to sleep. Don't be fooled by all these seemingly good gestures out of people who can't stand us. We keep forgetting. That's why I say we got short memories. We keep forgetting what the scriptures say. You're going to be hated by all nations. It did not say one or two. It said all of them. We have a world full of enemies. But yet somehow we think they're going to wake up one morning in a repentant heart and start treating you fairly. Start giving you justice. Start giving you reparations. If you think that, you done lost your mind. Just keep the scriptures in mind. We are to be hated by all nations, period. End of story. And to believe otherwise is to believe that the Most High is lying. If he said we're going to be hated by all nations, you better believe that's what it is. You can see that with your own eyes if you're not totally asleep. All right? Okay, family. I'm going to get out of here. Most High willing. I'll talk to you soon. Shalom.